Welcome, everybody. It is Wednesday, January 31st, 2024. The time is 6:34 p.m. I'd like to call this Town Board regular meeting to order by asking everybody to please stand for the pledge to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, I do have to apologize, but due to a circumstance today, I have to call a 5-minute executive session based on a personnel topic. So at this point in time, I make a motion to go into an executive session to discuss personnel issues. Do I have a second? Motion's been made by myself, seconded by Councilman Maluta. All in favor to go into executive session and return afterwards?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? We're in executive session. No decisions were made, no money was spent. I move that we go back into a regular town board meeting. Do I have a second?
Second.
Brought by myself to move back into a regular board meeting, seconded by Deputy Supervisor Murphy. Again, no decisions were made, no money was spent. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Back in session. At this point in time, are there any public comments and/or questions on agenda items only? Any comments or questions on agenda items only, please approach the podium. Seeing nobody approach the podium, we'll move on. There is a presentation tonight, Starkdale Park. At this point in time, who's ever doing the presentation and speaking, I invite you to the podium.
Good evening, and thank you, Supervisor, town board members, for letting us come tonight and make a presentation, a brief presentation, about a potential project in here at Dover, as well in Pauling, because it's a property that straddles both municipalities.
Could you just do me a favor, state your name and who you represent?
Sure. My name is Michael McCormick. I'm an architect with Liska McCormick Van Voris, where our offices are in Poughkeepsie for the last 37 years, and hopefully another 37 years. We'll see. But we're here to talk tonight about a property. It's called Starkdale Farm. We're calling it Starkdale Park for the sake of the presentation. And I just want to say that how this came about. So we're architects, and we have really good friends in Moish Ziv and Jonathan Liedersdorf. So they are the developers for this project. Jonathan's vision is very succinct, and we'll see about that tonight, about what his vision for this property is. It's about a little over 633 acres. It's on West Dover Road. As I said, it is in both Dover and Pauling. It's going to be just a wonderful project, and you'll see why. But it's all about longevity. It's all about health. It's about the person. It will include certainly elements like a hotel, a spa, a little community in terms of, we call it High Street, but it'll be like a little village that'll actually be part of this wellness, health, longevity concern. There'll be housing, single-family housing, multiple family housing, workforce housing, and it will have, which is really important, it'll create jobs for this part of the county. I've lived in this county my whole life. I grew up here, I was born here, and this is where I will be until I'm gone. I know it very well. I love the county of Dutchess. I love the Hudson Valley. So when Jonathan came to me with Moish and said, you know what, they've looked all over the Eastern Seaboard for a place to put this project. The concept is wonderful and beautiful, and you'll see why. And I said, well, you've got to come to Dutchess County, because it's nothing like, nowhere else in this world is like Dutchess County. I've been all around, and we have so much beauty here in terms of the natural beauty, but the people here, the municipalities, and what we offer is just amazing. And when Jonathan and Moish saw the property, they fell in love with it. Pretty simple. I mean, when you see this property, you go, wow. It's in a very unique place in the world in terms of Dutchess County. It's in the eastern part of the county, which is wonderful. I love the eastern part of the county. We've worked on projects over here, and it's just welcoming. So I want to say, again, thank you for hearing about the project this evening. We'll go through a brief slide presentation so you can get a flavor. We're also going to do this same presentation in Pauling. Looks like next week. So the big thing here is for us is be transparent with the process. There's transparency here. There's no hidden agendas. We're going to show exactly what's going on in both municipalities. And then we're going to have a Q&A, question and answer meeting with anybody who wants to come from both municipalities in a location probably early in March. So again, this is a transparent process. We want input. We want to understand the concerns of course, the boards and the community, so that we can bring that to fruition for the best of everyone. So, Jonathan, do you want to speak a little bit about your vision and how you came about?
Sure.
You want me to do the slides as you speak? You can tell me when to
Yes,
switch.
yes, Rich, if you don't mind. Exactly. So
We start with me. My name is Jonathan Leidersdorf. I've been living in New York City for about 20 years. Now I live in Switzerland. And besides being the developer, I'm also the architect, which is a little unique. And usually architects, our colleagues, are very interested in making beautiful buildings. But we've taken it one step further. We really care about what happens in those buildings and how people live their lives in those buildings, and making sure that they are living healthy lives, happy lives, which means longer lives. And this is our, I would even say, obsession with longevity, and something that you hear more and more about. And the idea of all this community is to promote longevity and to build the community based on those principles. So I've been developing commercial, residential, hospitality. I've been in the business for 30 years. I studied in London architecture. I have a master's in architecture and another master's in real estate finance from Columbia University in New York City. So project vision. Next slide. Starting with what's happening with longevity, that is becoming a science. And basically, longevity is, like I said before, is about making people live longer, but healthier as well. So it's not just about the age, but it's about the condition and bringing people to live till 100 and above. Next one. And we are kind of piggybacking on a trend and a phenomenon that's been happening in the world called the Blue Zone. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the Blue Zone, a book that came out of it by a guy called Dan Buettner, who is an anthropologist. And he went and examined actually 5 villages around the world, completely unrelated to each other, where people live above 100 over 3 times than anywhere else in the world. And through National Geographic, they sponsored him to go into all those places. That's what the book is about, which is super fascinating. I highly recommend you read it. And finding what were the principles of those particular villages that people live by that made them live longer. Because it's not about science. They're all pretty primitive villages. As you can see, some of them in Japan, in Costa Rica, in the US, in a place called Loma Linda, in Greece, in Italy. And those were the principles that they came up with. And some of them are not really so intuitive, something like a sense of purpose, where people wake up in the morning and they have something to live for. The community, the connection that they have with other people, the connection they have with themselves, spirituality, connection to nature, mobility. So those are all the principles that we're going to promote when we design our community that we would like to do here in Dover and Poling. Next. So again, it's all about having this utopian community. Now, this community, which is very important, which I will say it's even post-COVID, it's not a gated community. We don't believe in gated community. I mean, the way we do our business, and we've built one of those resorts in Spain, is about openness and about it being inclusive. And it's all about the local community. We have very rich programming, which is a big part of what we do. And we use all the local practitioners in Ibiza, which is an island in Spain. We have over 200 local practitioners that work with us. So the minute we go into an area, the most important thing for us is to understand what resources we have locally to actually build our communities. So that's how we work. And obviously a big part of it is to have an open community and having a regional asset here for all the people from the neighborhood to come and enjoy and use. So I was talking about the great outdoors. That's a super important part. That's why we call it a park. So people are going to be living in a park, or the locals are going to be visiting a park. So being out there, mobile, is a very important part of it. The community aspect is super important. Again, very rich programming for people to congregate, to be together. And we are working on 3 levels. So there's a connection to yourself, the connection to others, and connection to nature. So those are the 3 kind of layers that we work through. And again, obviously the architecture and design, it's all about this congregation, community, and peacefulness. And everything, all those things, basically afterwards, they all lead to longevity. And again, all seasons, so we're going to be celebrating winter, we're going to be celebrating summer, and all those things, again, going specifically to the outdoor, which seems to be one of the biggest motivators for people to kind of be happy, active, and again, promotes longevity. This is the result that we already finished. So what I'm talking about, this is not just slideware and some ideas that I have in my head. We actually took us 10 years to put our community in Spain, which has been super successful. We're already starting our third year of operation. Super rich programming. People, even though we've been open for less than 3 years, we've had customers that come to us to the hotel portion for over 10 times already because they feel that they want to come back. It's almost like a mechanic's pit. People come there, we kind of empower them, and then they go about their way to go and do whatever they need to do, empowered, happy, and healthier. So this is in Spain. Keep on going. This is our lobby. Our lobby is basically a farmer's market. We have our tractors coming in from our farm. We have our own organic farm. Over here also, a very important part is work with the local communities and the local farmers to go and get all the produce. All our restaurants are organic, which is a super important part of the longevity aspect. Again, all the community amenities, all the way to outdoor amphitheater, for culture, for art, for music, and again, all this programming is going to be open to everybody. Super important part of what we do. Again, all the local partnership that I've been mentioning, and a little bit of land analysis. So we've taken also very good planners called Hout Horton, and we've started investigating the site. A very important thing for us is when we come as architect developers, we don't come with preconceptions. We come with a blank canvas, and we come in to listen, and we come here to touch and to see and to let the site talk to us and to get all the hints from the site of what should be built there. So if we go on the next slides, we are looking on the existing conditions, and we are doing a very rigorous research. And actually the site tells us where the buildings should be, where the hotel should be, and where we shouldn't be touching anything. And basically, instead of us thinking where it is, we are getting all the answers from the site.
So,
Please.
just so everyone knows, so from this line across, that red line, this is the polling side. The Dover side is to the north. This line coming up through is West Dover Road. So to orient everyone so they know exactly where this is. And you can see, if you go on West Dover Road, you'll know exactly where the Starkdale Farm is.
And again, we are looking where there is the most sun exposure for the houses, where all the hydrology is, where we shouldn't be touching anything, and we are just like seeing, actually the sites start telling us where we should be developing, where we shouldn't be developing, and we respond rather than attack. And again, this is all great images about community, about nature, about the local vernacular architecture, about programming, music, the thing that put people together, the thing that makes people happy. When they're happy and all their cortisol, which is the stress hormone, starts to go down, those are all principles of longevity. Next one. Again, and this is, we are thinking of introducing also a winery to the area, which we believe is going to be a fun thing to do and very pretty. But basically from those images, you start understanding exactly what people are going to be entering. So it is going to be a park. It's going to be a curated landscape park.
And there are portions of the farm that will be retained in terms of what they are as a farm.
Yeah, most of the site.
Most of the site. It'll be a very green initiative in terms of retainage of what the farm is, a lot of the forestry, things of that nature. So what's being touched is very thoughtful touching of the site itself. It's not what you would think a typical development would be, where they clear cut everything and build. No, this is something that Jonathan's vision is to work with the site. As he said, the site is telling us what can come out of the site for the best of the site and best uses where they should be placed and put. It's very important to work with the site, as we know, and this is a very creative way of using a site effectively. It's 633 acres. It's a good-sized piece of property, and we won't touch everything. We're going to touch it in the right way.
And, all the way to the farming. The farming is going to be active farming. We want to see when people come in, we want to see tractors going through. We want to see wheat. We want to see corn. I mean, this is what we are about. Again, this is going to do we're going to have like a very extensive trail system that people can go in, and some of those are going to be open to the public, of course. For people to go for a 10K loop, a 5K loop, and then they can stop. If you see all those red dots, they're going to be those pavilions that people can come in, and some of them they can sit, they can do a barbecue, and they can do meditation. Each one is going to be dedicated to something else, so almost like a treasure hunt throughout those 633 acres. And again, some images that just show people out there exploring the big outdoor.
Next steps. Yeah. So, as you can see, the next steps, we started touching on them prior, but we're going to have joint meetings, certainly here now in Dover, then in Pauling, and then a community meeting with everyone that wants to come. Question and answers, let's talk, see how the reaction is going. We'll refine the plans in terms of that, what we're thinking about, with feedback from everyone that wants to talk about it. We'll, of course, organize a review session, things of that nature. And we need to prepare the zoning documents for a rezone in both the municipalities, because what we're doing here is not in the zoning, it has to be enhanced, the zoning, in both Dover and Pauling. And at the same time, we're going to develop a site plan, so we'll start to make application into both municipalities for site plan review. So these are our next steps, and it's not short term. This is going to be evolutionary. It's not going to be revolutionary. So it's going to take time. We understand that, but the investment that Jonathan is making here with Moish is very important to them. But I think it's very important for certainly the towns and the region. This is a regional impact project that could, it's going to be one of a kind. Well, there's 5 others in the world, but there's nothing like this on the East Coast of the United States.
The first man-made blue zone,
Right.
so it's going to be pretty important.
And I want to try to live to 100. So I'm 65 now. I've got a few more years. So hopefully this will be ready for me. I think that's it.
That's it?
That's it.
So, again, thank you very much to the supervisor of the town board for letting us come in tonight. It's early on, but I think for the sake of transparency, it's very important to get early on, and we'll do the same thing in Pauling next week. Hopefully, we'll talk with the supervisor and get us on the agenda, and then we'll have a community meeting with everyone that wants to attend from both towns, or wherever they're from.
First, let me say thank you for choosing Dover and Pauling. All right, with this, we had a preliminary meeting. They gave us an idea of what they wanted to bring here. Myself, Supervisor Schmidt. First, let me say thank you to Supervisor Schmidt and the members of his board and planning board for attending tonight. Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
This is a joint effort, and you already stated there are some zoning issues that we have to look at. The application process will take place as it should be. You'll fill out your applications. Once you're ready to do so, it'll go to our planning, and then I see it probably being kicked to us, Tommy, because of the zoning issues.
Yeah,
And then we'll discuss it and work it out and make it right for everybody. In the preliminary meeting, I'll be honest, and I'll say that this is a destination. This is something that the county is pushing for, towns are pushing for, residents want to see, economic development. This is something different, right? And you're keeping it, like you just said, as green as you can, but yet making the destination, the commercial, the involvement of the residents. You're keeping the gate off, thank you very much, right? And you're letting the townspeople come and enjoy what you have, whether it be restaurants, boutiques, little markets, whatever you may be. So
Exactly.
that's
It's
what
a
I
regional
saw
asset.
in the first presentation that we met, and you brought it to myself and Supervisor Schmidt, and wanting to bring it to here, I thank you, right?
Yeah.
It's nothing but a plus as far as I can see it. And we're more than willing to work with you, work for you, and hoping to make this happen.
Thank you
Right.
so much.
You're welcome.
Supervisor.
Thank you for coming.
Yeah, and we
Appreciate it.
We do have a lot of, we have maple syrup around here. We have people that make honey. We have people that make, do all those kind of wellness kind of things. So, this will be interesting to see how this goes. Thank you.
But, and the one thing you can, we'll say this, we're going to work with everybody. And this is, certainly the people that are here, that have their businesses, and we're going to complement them with this project. This is not a gated community, as Jonathan said. This is a community that's here for everyone. It's for the town, for the businesses here. We're not here to shut anybody out. And like Crown Maple as example, I can see Crown Maple, being here in the restaurants, in the spa, well, not the spa, but in the hotel. So, but I can see Crown Maple certainly being part of this as one example.
One thing that stood out is you want to use the locals.
Most
I mean,
definitely.
When we first met Moish, the first thing he asked me is, who is the local farmer down the road? And what other ones do we have in the surrounding area, right?
Yes,
James?
because we need them all.
Exactly.
Because people are gonna be eating,
So
and we
that's
wanna
what
make
stood
it
out to
local.
me is your first question after we introduced ourselves, let's talk business. And that was a question that he asked in the first few. So that stood out to me. And, we have members of the family that live right down the road. And I appreciate that, all right? I really do. Because the discussion that we had both here tonight and the preliminary meeting, you want to take care of the locals. And I think that impresses me to the point where we need to work with you. And let's find a way, if we can, and make this happen.
Thank you.
There's hurdles, and we know that. We've talked about that. There are hurdles, right? So we'll work on it. We'll go through the process. I can't wait for the meeting next week just to see what the people down there think after the meeting, like here tonight. And then I'll look forward to the presentation where both towns are invited, the residents of the towns are invited, and then we see the feedback. I'm looking forward to that. But
Yeah.
thank you very much for the presentation tonight.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Can I
Thank
keep
you.
the
Thank
thumb
you
drive,
so much.
Mike?
What's
Can I
that?
keep the thumb drive?
Yes. you
Okay.
may.
Thank you.
Of course.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so
Thank you.
much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Pass that to Katie. Mike, see you guys. Thank you. Mike,
Thank you.
145 section of our code and zoning. You can just find it online. That's where you got to look. That should answer the questions they have. Okay? Yep.
Thank you.
When's their meeting?
I don't know. I don't know. James hasn't invited me yet. I invited him, but he didn't invite me yet. Okay, moving on. We have another presentation for the first time in a long time, and I appreciate it, our town historian, Val Robadier. I hear we have an event to attend.
Thank you.
Might be good.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Hey, Val, can you just pull the microphone down a little bit so we can hear you? I'm sorry.
Don't be
How's
afraid of
that?
it.
There, perfect.
Okay. I have handouts to illustrate parts of this report so that I don't have to take too much time reading all of it. So those attachments will help you understand what's going on. This is the report for 2023, but it also overlaps. There needs to be some background for some of the items because, as he mentioned, there hasn't been a report in some time. I serve, well, although I do give a report at the annual
Yep.
Historical Society meeting. I serve in several roles related to Dover history, some that are outside the purview of my official role, And I'm reporting here on those roles as well as my official Dover historian role because they all relate to Dover's place in the wider region. So beginning with the Town of Dover Historical Society, I serve as an ex officio board member and the webmaster. The Society has had a very busy year this year. I'm available to assist with planning, but the board members and the volunteers are the ones that do most of the work of the Society. Our annual events include hearth cooking dinner demonstrations by Harlem Valley Homestead, fundraising, our annual fundraising cocktail or dinner party, an art show, booths at Dover Day, the Christmas open house. Our 2023 fundraiser was held in August and included our 50th anniversary celebration. So it was a little bit grander than it usually is, and we enjoyed the tent so much we're going to continue it for this year's fundraiser. The Junior History Club did take the year off, but continued planning for 2024. We did also include the elementary school students in December with tours of the Tabor Wing House, including a scavenger hunt. Additional purchases on equipment and archival boxes closed out our spending from the Dutchess County History Infrastructure Grant Award that we obtained the previous year. The computer equipment was set up, and we have additional technology setups ongoing. There's still quite a bit of equipment there that we haven't completely unboxed. We were fortunate to welcome a new member, a professional archivist, who's now assisting us as an advisor as we continue to catalog our collections. House and grounds improvements continued this year as we worked on the second floor space above the kitchen and reworking the garden for easier maintenance. The town assisted us in acquiring and installing a dehumidifier. In 2018, a teacher at the high school, Michelle Mullally, asked me to assist her honors art history class, which was art and architecture of the Hudson River Valley. The students produced a virtual reality tour of the Dover Plains Hamlet, and I've included a report on that project that I won't read here. Again, I assisted her with a class in 2022, this time featuring the Morehouse Tavern, and I also included a copy of Michelle's flyer for the Festival of Excellence for that. That's in the packet for the Morehouse Tavern event because it relates to that. This past September, I noticed that both virtual reality tours were no longer accessible on the Town of Dover Historical website, Society website, and I discovered that it was due to the class no longer being offered. So since then, I've been working with a software company to find a way to keep the site up. Negotiations have brought the annual cost down to $250, and with the Town of Dover Historical Society's help, we're applying for a grant to fund this expense. Meanwhile, the vendor is keeping the website up as a courtesy while we figure out if we can afford it. Dutchess County enjoys a robust historical community thanks to County Historian Will Tatum, County Historical Society Executive Director Bill Jeffway, and others too numerous to include here. As Dover's Dutchess County Historical Society Vice President, I attend our quarterly meetings and help out wherever I can. These meetings often include, in addition to the town's VPs, local historical society chairs, historical site representatives, and regional nonprofits. We also hold workshops on topics chosen by member requests. The June workshop this year, the topic was student engagement, and I was asked to report on our high school art and junior historian programs. At the December meeting, Will updated us on the Rev 250 program. that has been stalled throughout the year due to lack of New York State action and funding. The New York State Legislature passed a proclamation that New York State should commit to participating in the full 8-year commemoration, 2026 to 2033. The federal government announced that it will commemorate only the 2026 anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. So that's a big contrast, but we in Dutchess County feel like we have a lot to offer, and we want to take advantage of the whole period. So Will is putting together a 10-county Hudson River regional group to help with funding efforts, and we can expect to hear more details on that in the coming months. I serve as chair of the Pawlings-Beekman Precinct Rev 250 work group, and this is something that the county historians set up to handle the 250th anniversary of the Revolution, American Revolution. He divided the county up roughly as it had been originally in precincts, and our precinct includes Beekman, Dover, Pawling, and Unionvale. We've already identified several potential events and projects. We had regular meetings prior to this year, and now that the county is moving forward again on this effort, we will resume our meetings, because 2026 will be here before we know it. Although our financial needs are not significant at this time, we are encouraging all 4 towns to include a budget line item for our efforts. We will need funds for printing flyers and for event handouts. As events are developed, we are also going to conduct our own fundraising efforts. In September, I took part in the Dutchess Tourism Certification Program and became a CTA, a Certified Tourism Ambassador. And this adds opportunities to network with people that are engaged in tourism and efforts that might be related to history in some way. A strong network of regional historians provides opportunities to help other towns, and in return, enables us to receive help from others. The past year, Diane Wapnick of the Little Nine Partners Historical Society asked for my help planning events for the Pine Plains Bicentennial. As you may be aware, the Mohican village of Chicomico was located in Pine Plains, near the Isaac Hunting homestead. And Diane came to me because, as tribal genealogist and history consultant for the Schaghticoke First Nations, I had arranged for Sachem-Hawk Storm to attend our September 2022 quarterly VP meeting to help us develop an approach to the Indigenous Voices themes that we were engaging in for Rev 250 and for our for the Dutchess County Historical Society's annual theme and yearbook. Using my research for Schaghticoke Mohican local history, we developed a program that included a bicentennial commemoration plaque for the town, a proclamation by the town, a small history booklet on the village of Chicomico, and a large traveling display. The display is currently on loan from the Schaghticoke First Nations to Pine Plains and can be viewed at the Pine Plains Free Library. We also assisted the Little Nine Partners Historical Society with an ecology event for children, and I also included in your packet a few things that we used to promote those events. Okay. Leading up to a November event for Armenia for Schaghticoke First Nations history, I received a lot of help from Betsy Strauss, who's head of the Armenia Historical Society. She filled me in on details of Moravian graves and took me on a driving tour to map out the most likely paths taken by the Mohicans between the 3 Moravian missions. So this was indispensable help. Her knowledge of local families, early deeds, and landmarks was really a huge help. And so it just sort of illustrates how we all, the historians of the various towns, can all interact and help each other. As a result of these events, Kate Karen of Innisfree Gardens and Allison Mayer of the Millbrook Historical Society asked for my help researching deeds in the town of Washington. It started out as a look back for early indigenous deeds, and then it continued as an effort to place the subdivisions and lot line changes that comprise the current Innisfree property. We formed a work group that now includes a 4th member, Sarah Schestinger. Earlier this month, we visited the Millbrook Historical Society archives, which provided me with a lot of great ideas for our own Tabor Wing archives. Another alliance that resulted from collaboration is my membership in the Mid-Hudson Anti-Slavery History Project. We're now very actively preparing for the bicentennial of emancipation from slavery in New York State. The group has secured grants and a Vassar student intern. Projects include a map project, a walking tour in Poughkeepsie, and a quilting project. As 2027 approaches, we plan to promote additional events and projects to publicize the bicentennial. And I do have more of these bookmarks if you want, and I can get more from the director at any time. It has a little QR code on it. So that's it for the annual report. And then I'm making an appeal tonight for a project I've been researching for many years on the Morehouse Tavern. It's no longer there, but it was where, roughly across the road from Dunkin' Donuts in Wingdale, there was a highway that went from Providence, Rhode Island, all the way then through Hartford, then through that intersection where Pleasant Ridge Road meets 22, and then on over to the Fishkill Supply Depot, and then, winding down on the other side of the river down to Easton and Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and beyond. So this highway was used in ancient times by the indigenous peoples, and then it made an ideal place for explorers to come through, and also for them during the Revolutionary War to move the troops after they had to discard the lower road because once the British occupied New York City, because that road was too dangerous. So we have really a tremendous advantage having that old upper road go right through our town. And on March 2nd in 1781, Alexander Hamilton drafted 2 letters, as dictated by George Washington. And I included copies of those letters in your packet as well. So I thought since March 2nd is on a Saturday this year, I was hoping maybe we could have like an event to proclaim March 2nd as annual Morehouse Tavern Day, and have a little presentation on the history of the old Upper Road and the Morehouse Tavern. And that's it.
Val, thank you very much.
Any questions?
One question. How do you figure out to get more than 24 hours in a day and 7 days in a week with all you just did?
Huh?
But no, I thank you for our report, and what you'd like to do for March 2nd. Is that something you'd like to read and present maybe at our regular meeting, which is the 28th? Or do you want to actually do it on the 2nd at the location? What are you asking?
Probably at the location, but I'd have to know, in order to promote the event, I'd have to know whether or not it's likely that the town board is going to approve the proclamation. Because whether it would be read at the 28th or on the day of, I mean, I guess I could have the event without the proclamation, just to do history. But it would be good to have some kind of idea anyway, whether or not, and I don't know what's exactly how much is involved. I imagine you have to, vote on the proclamation. Although
Tommy?
Pine Plains just did
Little
theirs by
guidance?
the supervisor saying, yeah, it's
Where would you have the
good,
event?
good to go.
The town board could authorize a proclamation and favor it. They could vote on it at the February meeting, which is prior to the March 2nd
Prior to.
date. The proclamation, if adopted, could be read at the town board meeting, and then Val could read it at the event.
Okay, so I would just advertise the event as a history event. So the question number 2 would be, could we have the event here, the presentation here?
On the 2nd of March.
Yeah,
I don't see a problem with that, anybody? I think it's a good thing. I think it's
okay.
a stamp on Dover's name, a good stamp on our history.
Usually either 1 to 3 or 2 to 4.
2 to 4,
Yeah,
1 to 3 or 2 to 4.
1 to 3? 1 to 3 sounds good.
okay. 1 to 3. So I'll draft up something like this, and I'll send it to you just to
Okay.
say yay or nay.
And what would you like to have during that 2 hours?
I usually have the presentation of the history and then, a question-answer period. Wouldn't have to be like the full 2 hours because...
Start at 1, end by 3, how's that?
Yeah,
Anywhere.
because usually what we do have is a roundtable presentation, and then a break for refreshments, and then a lot of questions. So there may not be a lot of questions for this type of event.
Okay.
So you don't, it very well might not be the whole 2 hours.
We can do that here, or Councilman Maluda is offering up the Legion,
The Legion is
which is
right
closer to the location.
by the site, yeah.
Closer to
It's
the
up to you.
site.
You choose and we'll do it.
It's, okay.
The
It's
Dover Library?
harder to get into, though, isn't it?
No.
Or, no?
We have the staircase now from the parking lot, but you want to do it here, we'll
Oh,
do it here.
okay. Yeah, well, either way. I mean, that'd be right on 22, and you're right, it is like,
Across the street,
it's
kinda.
right there at the site, so that might be better, yeah.
We good there, Councilman?
Yeah, I would definitely, yeah, we could
Gotta
do
check
that.
your schedule.
Okay.
I gotta check the
You have to
schedule.
check and make sure
I
you
have to check
didn't
the
book it
Legion
for
schedule,
something
and then
else.
we'll go from there, yeah, but absolutely, I would think that it's closer to the actual site of where
Yeah.
it was. And, if it's a nice day, we go outside, go for a walk, and point and click, and,
Don't have to cross the road.
don't have to cross the road,
Okay,
So why
excellent.
don't you check tomorrow or the next day, and by the end of the week, get
March
back to
2nd?
Valerie, or to at least Katie, and we can get
I
back with
will
her.
do that, yes.
Okay,
Okay?
sounds good, thank you very much.
And refreshments, Historical Society do that, or you want some help with that?
I didn't ask the Historical Society yet. I'm sure we can come up with something, or, have some help.
We could handle that.
Oh, is that the Historical Society over there?
The Legion is also willing to help out, so we'll
Oh,
figure it
okay.
out. How's that?
Yeah.
We'll
We'll
work
book
it
the
out.
date, and then we'll confirm where it'll be in the next few days.
Thank
And
you
then
very much.
we'll advertise the hell out of it for you.
Do you want any more of these?
If you have some, you can leave them
Put out
at the
there.
counter with the clerk, and they'll be there.
Thank you.
Thank you, Valerie.
Thank you.
And I always say, appreciate what the association does. Each and every year at your function, you keep the history of Dover flowing and Dover on the map in our historical aspect of things.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Much appreciated.
All right, next. Public hearing on the 2024 Town and Recreation fee schedules. I move that we open this public hearing to discuss the fee schedule for 2024 for town and recreation fees. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded by Councilman Maluta. All in favor of opening this public hearing, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing is open. Anybody who has a question and/or statement or comment, please approach the podium. Has anybody signed up? No. All right, I'll comment. I reviewed them. I think they're fair. I think they're all within what every other town is charging for things. We did adjustments, Julie, Jay. We did move some things around and adjust things that we felt needed to be. Thank you for the work on that. I think the prices are fair. I think the schedule is fair, and I'm in favor of putting it in place. Any other discussions?
No, good job, Jules.
Julie, thank you. Jay, thank you. Any other comments or questions? Seeing nobody approaching the podium, I move that we close this public hearing on the 2024 fee schedule. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded by Deputy Supervisor Murphy to close the 2024 fee schedule public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public hearing's closed. Now, reports. Reports of the Recreation Department and Highway. Julie? I know, Jason, I'm a little off. I said half hour, 45 minutes. Something like that. Been a long 3 weeks.
All right. So I'm Julie Muncy from the Dover Recreation Department. All right. So as of right now, we are accepting Dover Day Camp applications for counselors and lifeguards starting tomorrow. So we have them on our website at www.doverrecreation.com, and we also have them at our office as well, where you can pick them up. All the rules and regulations are there, so if anybody has any questions, they can call the office. Day camp registration starts March 1st, and that includes before, after care, as well as the CIT program, the playground program. We do not have day camp on July 4th this year, and that's a Thursday, but we do start day camp July 1st, and that goes right through August 9th. And we have our playground program starting the 12th of July to the 23rd of August. So that runs almost a week before school starts. Our Easter egg hunt is on Sunday, March 24th. I did move that, so it's at 1 o'clock. M&T Bank will be there giving out goodies, and we have the Hudson Valley Sweet Treats, and they'll be selling their homemade popcorn. We did that also at the Trunk or Treat this year as well. So come and take your pictures with the Easter Bunny. We also have our summer theater program, and we'll have an informational meeting sometime in May. We're still working on the time and the day for that, and we're doing Shrek Junior this year. And our auditions will start on June 7th and 8th, and then after that, it starts on July 1st at the Dover Middle School Auditorium. And then our program, our show times are August 9th and 10th, 2 on Saturday on the 10th and 1 on Friday on the 9th. Our basketball program is running well. We go right to March 16th. We have over 130 kids, and that includes K through 12th grade. We have our basketball games on Saturdays from 7:30 to 3:30. And then Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, we have practices, sorry. And we have our open gym basketball on Fridays. So we're in the school pretty much every day, except for Wednesdays. Speaking of Wednesdays, starting in February next week, our rec commission meetings will be on Wednesdays for the next 3 months. It's the first Wednesday of every month for February, March, and April, starting at 5:30, only because of my basketball schedule. That was the only days that I had off that we could do those rec commission meetings. Dover Day this year is on Saturday, September 21st. We've already started. We've already booked our fireworks, our car show, the carnival rides, tents, tables, vendor and donation letters will be sent out sometime in February. So we'll be getting those out soon. And flyers will be out as well, advertising that as well. And then the last is, we have two more, sorry. Our senior programs are on Mondays and Thursdays at the American Legion in Wingdale. Our senior trip list is out. So if anybody has any questions, if they'd like a copy, they are at the senior program as well at the office, and we will be posting them on our website and our Facebook page and their Facebook page as well. I think we have 5 or 6 trips coming up, starting actually in April, right till October. And then the last thing is we have a 4-week concert series, the last 2 weeks in July. I don't have the exact dates, I'm sorry, I forgot to write them down, but we'll be posting them. So we have 2 weeks in the end of July and 2 weeks in August. So I'll be posting those as well. It's free programs, we'll be doing a bonfire as well. So come on down, enjoy. It's all different kinds of music, a little bit of everything. So, anybody have any questions?
Yeah, hey, Jules. I know we're probably a couple of weeks out, but I was going to bring it up at the meeting. Little League Soccer?
Little League
It's a
Soccer,
little
their
early, but-
contracts, no, I already sent their contracts out already.
Okay.
Waiting for actually Little League already gave me their insurance, waiting for soccer's.
Okay.
And then I'll be getting once they get all their stuff together. They're still in the schools right now,
Mm-hmm.
doing their practices, but as soon as I get their schedules, which probably won't be till March,
Yeah.
we'll be posting that. We are actually in the process of probably closing down the big soccer field at the park it's in the front closest to the parking lot, only to aerate it as well as reseed it. So that will be closed down for the season. We have 2 big fields. We're going to be closing the first one down. It hasn't been done in years, and it's really getting chopped up and very, very muddy. So we want to, same thing we kind of did for the baseball field. We're going to reseed it, obviously not sod it, but reseed it and take good care and try to get that built up, give it a season off, maybe 2, if we can, just to build it back up. And then eventually we'll probably do a different field each year, or, depending on, we have 2 big ones, 2 medium ones, and 6 little fields.
Soccer's
So
been made aware
soccer,
of
that's
that.
in the soccer fields,
Yeah, they know.
They know.
Yeah, we talked about that last year, and we were going to
Yeah,
do it this
so
year.
we had a little issue with the aerator getting that last year, so I ordered a new one, so hopefully that'll come through and get the seed done. So they'll be starting that early spring, April, just to get it going, depending on the weather.
It's going to be a busy spring.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff going on. Also in the spring, hopefully the new LED sign will be put up, as well as the new scoreboard at the baseball field. That'll also be going in as well.
We also have a dredging project going.
Yeah, dredging project, sometime between April and August. But I'm going to be meeting with Joe and Jason, Jim, and a few other people, you as well, to get that moving. Probably in February, we'll have a meeting with that, talk about it, and all the details that need to be going with that. It's a big thing. So
No, that's
get
big.
that scheduled,
That's big.
get that going.
Y'all worked hard on getting them permits. Thank you, Joe. It's something that's,
It's got to get done,
go
yeah.
back to Chris Galeta and Ryan talking about dredging that thing.
Yeah.
So it's going to happen, and
Yep.
yeah. If not, we'll be renewing permits. Yeah,
Yeah.
one step closer. Julie, thank you very much.
All right.
Keep
Thank
up
you,
the good
Julie.
work.
Thanks, Julie.
Highway Superintendent Jason Satori. The marathon 3 weeks we've had, he's got 8 pages.
I go, Jason Satori, Town of Dover Highway. Is simple month. I'm going to be quick and fast. We spent most of the month plowing snow, sanding and salting, and take care of the roads for everybody. Hopefully everything went well for everyone, and they could go to work. I had one phone call from a gentleman who was mad about his road in front of his house. It was too clean, and his wife had to go to work, and she was mad at him. So other than that, so far so good. We knocked down a few mailboxes, replaced them, and took care of them. Also, that was probably like 4 weeks we've been doing that, actually. And right now, we're in the process of fixing a lot of our dirt roads that have been destroyed by the change in weather, temperature-wise,
Rains
frost
and,
coming
yeah.
out, muddy, everything else. So we're out there taking care of them, putting stone and everything back in to rebuild a lot of our dirt roads. So anybody that is listening or knows, please be patient. You know, we only have one grader to get the job done and only a couple trucks to haul stone. It's a long process, and it's a little worse than it has been in a while. But we're on top of it and taking care of it. The other thing is, roads are closed October 15th, April 15th, or parking, no parking on the roads. So please keep that in mind. We're putting up new signs and stuff or whatever. I'd also like to thank my whole team for all their hard work and dedication. One storm, they put in 25 hours straight, just so everybody can get to where they got to go. And they do put long hours in, and, you know, some people don't realize what they do for us, so I really appreciate them. And that's it. And my assistant, Terry, for all the stuff she puts up with me. So, any questions? Oh, and one other thing, I'll be in the process of looking up and specking out a new plow truck here next week. So when we get information on it, I'll present it to you guys so you can get a look at it. Okay?
Jason, thank you. Thank your guys as well.
you.
You're
Thank
right,
you.
it's been a
Thank-
long
thank you.
3-4 weeks right now. I can tell you. So, thank you very much, Julie and Jason. Reports from the supervisor and the town board members. We'll start out with Councilwoman Jackson.
Just to tell everyone that the library is offering their building for the use of the AARP and Cash Coalition to help with federal income taxes. If anybody needs help with that, they're offering it at the library, 9 to 4 by appointment, Monday through Friday. You don't have to be an AARP member. There's no age restrictions. So call 211 or the library to make an appointment. And the school is announcing that they have a couple of events to invite the public. February 24th is Cabaret for the band and chorus, and March 1st and 2nd, they're putting on the play Gypsy.
Thank you. And I'll welcome to his first meeting, Councilman Holmes. Your report?
Yes, liaison to the highway superintendent, made contact with him after a few storms, personally and by phone, rain, windstorms, snowstorms, and things have been going well. Thank you, town, the highway department.
Thank you, Tom. Councilman Maluta.
Things are going well. Next month is going to be a busy month at the Legion. There's a few events coming up, so be mindful of that, and they'll be on the board. Other than that, all is good.
Deputy Supervisor Murphy.
All right, so just a couple of things. Julie hit a lot on what's going on with recreation. Obviously, with the early part of spring, a lot is going on. Julie touched on basically everything that's going on at the park. I'm not stepping on Julie's toes, but volunteers, you know, we're going to need some help. So if anybody's willing to put some time in and get some help down there, you know, it would be much appreciated. So that'll definitely go a long way. From a planning board aspect, just, you know, continuing to pay attention to the website, our town website, and, you know, look for the meeting times, look for the meeting agendas, and be a part of the meeting. You know, that's what we're all here for. So that's my first report.
Thank you. Supervisor's report. First, let me welcome everybody. Happy New Year. It's been a long 6 weeks since our last meeting. A long, busy 6 weeks. In that 6 weeks, I got to remind you about some things that are coming up. February 6th at 2 p.m., need to remind everybody that the WebEx public hearing on the increased prices of the water rates for the town of Dover from Dover Water Company is that day, February 6th, 2 p.m. We've updated the information and the link on our website. Please attend, especially those that are directly affected by this. Okay? The town sent our letter. It was early to mid-November when they received it. I've spoken with Assemblyman Behan and Legislator House in the last couple of weeks about this. Andrew was actually leading the way with several letters from businesses and residents in the town. I received confirmation. Assemblyman Behan has talked with our Senator Hinchy. They are writing a letter to the PSC asking them if they would please attend a public hearing type meeting, that we would be glad to mediate, but obviously we can't run the meeting, okay? So we're going to talk about it. I'm in discussions with council to make sure there's no ethic issues, any legal issues with us being that involved. We have stressed our concern. The town's main concern is it affects my budget probably upwards of $6,000 if it takes effect. Since the letters have been submitted, though, I believe the issue, the topic, the subject itself has been postponed out to May. Okay? So now's the opportunity to get on February 6th. Listen. If you choose not to speak, that's fine. Okay? But listen to what's being said. Push the PSC to look at this and try to make the decision and help the residents of Dover. We are putting in, I'm planning on attending that day as long as the day off gets approved. If not, I'll be on my phone at my computer. So that's that. Attend. Go ahead, speak your piece. The link is on our website, as I said, February 6th, 2 o'clock, public hearing information electronically. If you log in, www.webex.com. The event number is 2334-400-7924. Password is FEB6-2PM. If you're going to do it by phone, the number is 518-549-0500. Event number 2334-400-7924, and the password is 332-602-76. So that's the information on that. Go ahead.
Hi, Jill Fieldstein, Concerned Citizens of Dover. I just want to thank you for making the announcement about the water company. I just want to clarify a few things. Even though the PSC pushed out the date to make their final decision to May, they actually will make it based on the public comments that are they'll hear either here during the virtual meeting or any letters that we all submit to them. So it's not that we have till May. They'll be in the process of making the decision shortly after these hearings. So if you want to speak on it, do it now. It's really important. And with respect to we have requested that the PSC hold an in-person hearing, that they hold the in-person hearing here in Dover so that people have the opportunity to speak in person and let their feelings be known. So in addition to this virtual hearing, please send in letters saying that you also want the PSC to come and have a real meeting, in-person meeting here in Dover to hear, so that more people can attend. This virtual meeting is in the middle of the day, makes it very difficult for working people to attend. So we could really use an in-person meeting. Thank you.
I think that's what I said in the beginning. We would host a meeting for them to run. That's what I said.
All right.
Okay.
I just want,
Thank you, Jim.
Okay.
So that's the information you need to enroll into the meeting on the 6th. And again, once that takes place and the letter is given to them from our senator and assemblyman, we'd hope they would acknowledge that we want them here to be in person and have a meeting, and we'll gladly mediate that. For a little history lesson, this happened once again about 20 years ago, about 20 years ago, when the Westchester Modular, that water company down there, tried to increase the prices. The town board backed the residents, supported the residents, but the town chose to just mediate public sessions, but not on town properties, because it is a privately owned business. So that's what we're looking into. We're not against, like some people have thought online, that we're not willing to do anything. We are, but we have to cover our own tails and make sure everything's legally covered and that we're not overstepping our bounds. Okay? Again, this affects the town. It affects my budget, which would affect your taxes. Okay? So enough of that. With that, that's pretty much it. Again, welcome back. On to resolutions. Here's where you take over, buddy. Resolution to authorize and approve consent agenda items. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover does hereby approve the following items for consideration and adoption on the January 31st, 2024 Town Board Regular Meeting Consent Agenda. Authorize the payment of abstract number 1 of 2024 in the amount of $383,857.78. Accept the minutes of the Town Board Special Meeting of December 20th, 2022, and the Organizational Town Board Meeting of December 2024. Approve Town Clerk's Report of December 23. Approve Town Supervisor's Monthly Financial Report of December 2023. Authorize budget transfers, budget amendments, and payment of off-abstract purchase orders as prepared and submitted by the town's bookkeeper. Authorize 2024 polling site notice agreement with Dutchess County Board of Elections. Authorize grant application to the Berkshire Taconic Community Foundation Northeast Dutchess Fund for installation of public Wi-Fi project at J.H. Ketchum Memorial Park in Dover Plains. Appoint Paul Palmer to Planning Board with a term effective through December 31st, 2028. Accept resignation of Town Constable Brandon Gonzalez as of December 29th, 2023. Authorize ministerial change to Metro North Memorandum of Understanding to confirm the County of Dutchess owns and maintains the portion of Dover Furnace Road which crosses over the Metro North's tracks. Approve name of private road for E911 address assignment for a private road located off 3 Rock Hill Road, Wingdale, New York, that will be named Jordan's Trail. Authorize transfer of highway funds in the amount of $25,000 to the Highway Machinery and Equipment Capital Reserve account. Accept resignation of Town Justice Clerk Angela Fusco as of December 31st, 2023. Adopt 2024 Town of Recreation fee schedules. I read the resolution. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Murphy, seconded by Jackson. Any discussion? All in favor?
So,
Did you mention appointing Helen Abrams to the clerk? It's in the list, but I'm not sure if it doesn't look like it's on the page here. Did you see it earlier? I just could maybe scroll up by chance.
Oh.
Just to,
I pulled it.
oh, so we're not going to do it.
I
Okay.
pulled it.
Okay, certainly, just as long as I know one way or another.
We discovered a little issue, so I pulled it, and we'll do it in February. Sorry.
It's 25.
Okay?
Perfect. That's great, thank you. I didn't want to.
Nope, my fault. That was last minute today. Work in progress. Okay, motion made and seconded to approve this resolution. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So carried. Resolution establishing energy benchmarking requirements for certain municipal buildings. Whereas buildings are the single largest user of energy in the state of New York, the poorest performing buildings typically use several times the energy of the highest performing buildings for the exact same building use. And whereas collecting, reporting, and sharing building energy data on a regular basis allows municipal officials and the public to understand the energy performance of municipal buildings relative to similar buildings nationwide, and equipped with this information, the town of Dover is able to make smarter, more cost-effective operational and capital investment decisions, reward efficiency, and drive widespread continuous improvement. And whereas the Town of Dover Board desires to use building energy benchmarking, a process of measuring a building's energy use, tracking the use over time, and comparing performance to similar buildings to promote the public health, safety, and welfare by making available good, actionable information and municipal building energy used to help identify opportunities to cut costs and reduce pollution in the Town of Dover. And whereas the Town of Dover Town Board desires to establish procedure or guideline for Town of Dover staff to conduct such building energy benchmarking, and now therefore it is hereby resolved and determined that the following specific policies and procedures are hereby adopted. I'll entertain a motion.
so moved.
Second.
Brought by Murphy, seconded by Maluta. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, would you like to?
Just briefly, This is part of the Clean Energy Communities program that we already belonged to when we started with the upgrade of LED streetlights, with the installation of the EV charging station. This will not only help us monitor usage as we do energy upgrades to putting in LED lights, putting in high efficiency HVAC, things like that. This will help us monitor the usage of electric and fuel oil in our 3 largest buildings, Town Hall, Highway, and the salt shed, actually, because it uses a lot of electricity. And then by doing this, it's basically clerical, putting in the information. It helps us earn points where we're headed towards wanting to get a $20,000 unrestricted grant. So we earned $5,000 in the last year. By doing this with another project we have in mind, we'll be in line to receive $20,000.
Thank you. Anything else? Motion made and second to accept. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? So carried. Boys Park Rec. Resolution awarding request for proposal, RFP, for new Boys Park Recreation Center fiscal advisor. Whereas the town board of the town of Dover advertised for requests for proposals, RFP, for a Boys Park Recreation Center fiscal advisor, and whereas RFPs were received, opened, and reviewed. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Dover does hereby award the proposal of fiscal advisors and marketing of Hopewell Junction, New York, as a recreation fiscal advisor to the town of Dover in connection with the Boys Park Recreation Center project. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Brought by Murphy, seconded by Jackson. Discussion. This is just another step in the process of trying to bring a very desired project, I'll say, with all our surveys that we've done, and bringing it to the residents of Dover, hopefully in May, for a referendum vote on the project. This is just another step.
Yep.
Okay? Anything else? Hearing no other discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. That's it. Resolution to accept 2023 Town of Dover Justice Court Annual Report and Audits and Filing with New York State Office of Court Administration, OCA. Whereas the Town of Dover Justice Court has submitted its 2023 annual report to the Town Board, and whereas the Town Board of the Town of Dover has reviewed the 2023 Town of Dover Justice Court annual reports from the Honorable R. Ren Abrams and the Honorable John Fusco. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover hereby accepts the 2023 Town of Dover Justice Court's annual report, and be it further resolved that the copy of the 2023 Town of Dover Justice Court annual report shall be kept on file in the office of the town clerk, and be it further resolved that the Town Board authorizes and directs the filing of the 2023 annual Justice Court financial reports with the Office of the Court Administration, OCA. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Brought by Maluta, seconded by Murphy. Any discussion? Sorry for a little hiccup. Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. Resignation and hiring. Yep. Resolution accepting resignation and rehiring of recreation assistant. Be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover does hereby accept the resignation of Dorothy Grisman from the position of Town of Dover Recreation Assistant effective January 26, 2024. And whereas the Town of Dover desires to rehire Dorothy Grisman to the position of Rec Assistant on a part-time basis effective January 29, 2024, at an hourly rate of $17.82 per hour. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town Board of the Town of Dover hereby authorizes the rehiring of Dorothy Grisman to the position of Recreation Assistant on a part-time basis at $17.82 per hour. I'll entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Brought by Murphy, seconded by Holmes. Any discussion? Hearing no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. This next resolution, I have to recuse myself based on the fact that I am a member of the J.H. Ketchum Hose Company, and this program I may possibly benefit from down the road. I'll now turn the meeting over to Deputy Supervisor Murphy to read the resolution.
All right. Resolution authorizing 2023 Town of Dover Firefighters Length of Service Award Program, LOSAP. Whereas the Town of Dover adopted a Length of Service Awards Program, LOSAP, for the members of the J.H. Ketchum Hose Company, which provides fire and emergency services to the Town of Dover. Now therefore be it resolved that the Town of Board of the Town of Dover does hereby accept the annual Length of Service Award Program, LOSAP, reports for 2023 prepared by the J.H. Ketchum Hose Company, Inc., as attached hereto and made part hereof this resolution for 2023 LOSAP credits. This question of the adoption and foregoing the resolution was duly put to a vote on roll call. Why am I reading that?
You don't have to.
Yeah, I'm sorry. First time. Can I have a motion?
I think the clerk has to call the roll? Or
No, we're not going to, I don't think
okay.
we have to do it by roll call, but a motion first, yeah.
Okay, so moved.
Second.
Okay. Motion and seconded by Jackson and Maluda. Any questions?
Good job.
Oh, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Clock. Not as loud, but first time.
Good job. I don't have the resolution for the Dodge. For the lift gate and the basket pole padding.
I didn't
And for
prepare
the
one.
what?
Authorized purchase for liftgate 2022 Dodge Ram and basket pole padding at Boyce Park.
Parks Capital Reserve.
I'm not sure let me just take a peek here.
Didn't make my packet.
I didn't make my packet either. I would just have to run up and get information from my office. It didn't get in the packet somehow.
Okay.
Is that okay? So
Yep.
I'll be right back.
Sorry, everybody, we'll take a 2-minute. Didn't print. I wonder why it didn't print. Everything else did.
Good job.
You're gonna have to show me that.
Yeah, right here. You have it, Tommy?
This must have been a last minute addition. I didn't see it. I got this last minute from Rich and Nicole. That was emailed to me right when I was,
That's all right.
Basketball?
Oh, it just says
Oh,
basket pole.
So it's basketball. Yeah, I was confused about that. Basketball. Pole padding.
Learn, teaches a lesson. You don't want to do it, you won't do it again.
You just get some pool noodles and tape them together?
Again, for those of you watching, if you didn't hear, the resolution didn't get printed with the resolutions that we read tonight, so we're going to just find it, and so we can read it and end the meeting. We apologize for the inconvenience. Don't say that.
I know, they don't. You hit that pole that hurt.
Didn't do it again.
And do it again. Watch over poll.
Be clear for the next.
Well, Tommy, if you didn't get it, I'll have it, right?
Sometimes Nicole or Katie does last-minute ones.
We came in too late to get a resolution, but this is what we want. We want to authorize that amount based on that Kevin allowed.
So this amount total, not this one.
Well, that plus that, that's the two together.
Oh, okay. So this is the grand total.
Right.
This one and this one equal that one. No,
Do you
this
want
one
me to
and
read?
that one equal that one. Okay.
Okay.
Tommy, I guess it came in too late. It didn't make it to the resolution list. We can do this as a motion?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm going to read a letter from the Recreation Commissioner, the Chair, the Recreation Commission Chair, Kevin Katowski. Dovertown Board, I, Kevin Katowski, approve the amount of $4,758.98. $3,779 goes to Robert Green Truck Division, and $979.98 for BSN Sports. It is for a lift gate for the 2022 Dodge Ram truck and a basketball pole padding for the basketball courts at Boyce Park to be taken out of the Parks Capital Reserve Fund. Reading this letter from Chairman Katowski, I'll make the motion that we go ahead and authorize this purchase. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion's made by myself, seconded by Deputy Supervisor Murphy. Any discussion?
Thank you again, Kevin.
Yep. Hearing no discussion, all in favor of approving my motion for this expenditure, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So carried. With that, are there any public comments? If you have any comments, questions, or anything to say, please approach the podium.
Jill did sign up for.
You see one name, Jill? You want to come up? Okay.
I don't know if you need it.
She got it.
Jill Fieldstein again, now as a resident of Dover Plains. I had originally seen that the amended solar law was on the agenda, but I see it was taken off. First of all, the amendments are, some of them are great and very substantive. I'm especially pleased to see that the waiver provision guardrails were added to it to make it not be so broad and make it not be so easy to pass a waiver on a project. But because there are so many substantive changes, is there an intention to have reopen the public hearing on the solar law?
No.
To discuss
Nope.
the changes?
Nope, we've only had it on our desk for a week, and the busy weeks that some of us has had, because due to the storms, I felt that we didn't have it long enough, so I'm pushing it out to February's meeting where we'll vote on it.
So the public has no say on the changes that
Public has
have...
already had a say, as well as Duchess Planning, and we've made changes, amendments, as you stated, and that's where it'll stay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yep. Council, anything?
No.
Yeah. Any other public comments? Seeing nobody else approaching the podium at this point in time, upcoming meetings, February 28th is our next regular meeting. With that, I'll move that we go into an executive session to discuss litigation issues and not return to the dais. Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion's been made by myself and seconded by Deputy Supervisor Murphy to go into executive session to discuss litigation and not return to the dais. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? So carried. Thank you very much and have a good night.